Good evening, YouTube. So I'm getting ready to do the final cleaning on the floor. I think last weekend I did the back half of the room. So I did about 60%. And what I'm going to do is overlap and do about 60% again, so I get the center section double cleaned, because the overlap areas tend to get a little bit dirtier. What I've done to start with is I hit all of the spots that still had some mastic residue with the mastic stripper, and I'm kind of letting that soak in. I brushed it, used my wire brush right there, and then I'm letting it soak in to the concrete, and then I'll hit all of these spots with the concentrated degreaser in the sprayer there. And then what I found works pretty well is I take my bucket of approximately 20% strength detergent. So I'm just going to slosh that over the floor here. And then I use the floor machine and just go side to side and back and forth. Oh, it'll probably take me 30 minutes or so to get this all cleaned up, and I'll show you what it looks like then. So we'll catch in a few then. Okay, there we go, YouTube. Did about maybe 10 passes, 5 across and 5 back and forth, and you're kind of left with kind of a foam, cappuccino foam or whatever on the floor. And like I say, you can't really see what you're doing because the floor is hidden by the foam. At this point, you need to mop this up before it dries. I've got about 100 square feet here, and that's a lot of work if you use just a mop. But this thing is amazing. You just squeegee up all of the foam like that. You could probably at that point use a something like a shop vac, wet dry shop vac. But even easier than that, you can just use a dustpan and you just scoop it up. So let me get the rest of this floor scraped up here. Yeah, this squeegee, you can clean it off from the mastic remover. Just use some of your detergent while it's still wet and brush it off into your rinse water, and you can reuse this. This is a really handy device. So I'll show you what it looks like when I get done here. Okay, there I got a puddle of suds that I got to scoop up here, but that makes it so much easier because you just have to clean up that much concentrated suds, and then the rest of the floor is pretty well clean. You can see I've got it squeegeed off. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done here. Okay, YouTube, I think that's it. That's the final cleaning. I did half the floor the other night and then half the floor tonight. Yeah, there's a good hour and a half or so to do that large an area. So that's probably 10 by 10 feet. And that's about as much area as you can do, because I was just barely got the foam up before it dried. And then when I was getting rid of the foam concentrate, the dirty foam, then this section here that I squeegeed off started drying, so I had to come in and throw some water on the floor and then just slosh, maybe 2 gallons of clean water on the floor and move that around to lift up all of the stuff that's still on the concrete, and then use just a regular mop to soak up that water. And then I found having actually 2 buckets. So I had one bucket of, well, they both started out clean, but I kept this bucket as clean as I could, and then I rinsed the mop off in the other bucket. After I rinsed the mop, I would dip it in the clean water to clean the floor, and then I would rinse the dirty mop out in a dirty bucket, and then back into the clean bucket, then back onto the floor. I'll see what this looks like in the morning. Okay, there it is, YouTube. Got all the water dried up overnight, and I think that's about the finished look of the floor. There's maybe a few spots I might go back and try to touch up, but it's, you can see definitely down this side you've got about three or four rows of the tile impressions, and then on the far side over there you've got about the same look, and then there's the tile pattern across the front of the room, and then there's the same thing at the back. But the only place where there's no real pattern is right in the very center of the room. That's interesting. So anyway, I'll show you what this looks like when I get to the etching step. But for now, I think this will do. I'll just spot clean a few little areas, see if they'll come up. If not, what you see is what you get, I think, with this. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about that, post up in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.